5150, the most legendary pre-workout out there. Like if you're talking about pre-workouts, you cannot forget this pre-workout because I mean one of the most legendary pre-workouts ever. Obviously made by Rich Piana, who has passed away, rest in peace. But Rich Piana was, if you don't know Rich Piana, he basically created fucking the fitness industry, basically laid the whole foundation of bodybuilding online. A legend, and this pre-workout legendary as well. Now I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm not quite sure how they're selling like a dead guy on a pre-workout, but I'm not gonna question it. Not don't even know who runs the 5% club right now, but yeah, today we're gonna be looking at the 5150 pre-workout, see if it's good, rate it on a scale, and all that good stuff. First of all, obviously we gotta go in with the price. So price is $49 for, let's see how many servings. So it's 30 servings for $49. That's about $160 per serving, which is actually on par with a lot of other pre-workouts. Obviously, there are cheaper pre-workouts, but then we gotta look at the ingredients, and if the ingredients are, then this is a good price. If the ingredients are good, then this is a good price. If they're bad, then this is a bad price. Just taking a first look at this formula, I mean, it is a huge ass formula. I remember looking at this the first time when I saw 5150, and this looked like a huge formula. So we're going to be going over that right here. So obviously, first of all, L-citrulline. And also you got to remember, there were not that many studies back then when he was making a pre-workout. So he pretty much made this, on like the basis of very little clinical data. So you gotta remember that, but yeah, we're gonna look through it. Obviously, first of all, the first three ingredients, the vitamins, I'm probably gonna ignore them because they're not that important. I'm just gonna go over immediately into the main ingredients, which is L-citrulline. L-citrulline here is dosed okay. Usually you would probably want to see around 5 grams. Here it's 4 grams. But I think 4 grams is okay as well. Again, kind of hydrates your muscles, better pumps, better all that. So citrulline, very good. Again, some data suggesting that citrulline malate is probably better. But L-citrulline is also fine. If I was going with a choice, I'd probably put in citrulline malate, but L-citrulline is fine as well. Moving on, and citrulline is, clinically found to work, so it's a good ingredient. Basically, every single pre-workout has it nowadays, I would say. Like the two ingredients that basically all pre-workouts have is like L-citrulline and caffeine usually. So L-citrulline works. Moving on to the next one, beta-alanine. And I've discussed why I think beta-alanine is kind of bad in a pre-workout. Again, I can put up a card if you want to watch that video. But beta-alanine basically interferes with caffeine because you got to be taking beta-alanine every single day. And if you're taking this pre-workout every single day, that means you're going to build up a resistance to caffeine. So, you got to pick. Either you want the beta-alanine to work or you want the caffeine to work. So that's kind of a hard choice. That's why I would not put in beta-alanine into a pre-workout. However, if you really want to maximize your performance, then beta-alanine, you should be taking beta-alanine, just not in a pre-workout. Take it by itself. Because when it builds up to the saturation point, it does increase your endurance, and it increases it significantly. So if you're doing more like cardio type workouts or longer workouts, let's say you're working out for like 2 hours straight, beta-alanine is going to help you. So if you want that, just take like you can even take like 2 grams of beta alanine every single day, and that is going to increase your endurance. So beta alanine does work, probably not the best choice in a pre workout that has 400 milligrams of caffeine. But yeah, next one, L-taurine. L-taurine also found to work by many studies. Now most pre-workout companies make the dose around 1 gram. Here they made it 2 grams. I think you can get away with 1 gram, so you don't particularly need 2 grams. But L-taurine does work. Here it's dosed okay, so that is completely fine. Next one, L-tyrosine in the form of N-acetyl. There's no real reason to have it binded together with this. I think it's fine as well by itself. L-tyrosine by itself has been found to work very well. I actually want to know what the N-acetyl does here. So N-acetyl just acts as a precursor, meaning it basically gets into your bloodstream faster. It's more soluble, enhances the solubility compared to tyrosine. But I think tyrosine is fine as well by itself. Like the the amount of how fast, yeah, it absorbs is fine. So I think you can also use just L-tyrosine. But as per the dose, so that probably means that you need to use more of an acetyl L-tyrosine than if it was just L-tyrosine. So I would probably increase this dose to about 1 gram as well, and then you should probably be fine. But it's pretty close to that, so I think that's fine as well. Moving on to the next one, choline bitrate. And again, if you're talking about choline only, then basically it increases memory, regulation of mood, and supporting attention. Basically, focus. And choline again found to really enhance your, yeah, exactly, focus, your memory, and attention. And there are many forms of choline that people use. So choline bitartrate, there's citicholine, there's alpha GPC. Um, the ones that are being used now the most, I believe, is alpha GPC, which is another form of choline. But I think choline bitartrate is also fine. Now, funny enough, I actually found a study saying that natural choline from egg yolk is actually, it absorbs better than chemically produced choline bitartrate, which I guess go eat your eggs. But if you can't, then I think this is fine as well. And here it is dosed at a fat dose, so I would say that's completely fine. Basically, just increase your mood. And yeah, moving on to the next one. And here we get to the crazy stim caffeine complex. And basically, they advertise that they just put in a lot of different kinds of caffeine. So here you can see caffeine anhydrous, you can see dicaffeine malate, you can see green coffee extract. And I don't really see the point behind this. I think you can use, I mean, I see the point behind caffeine anhydrous and dicaffeine malate, but any other forms of caffeine, I don't think you really need, because again, okay, let's just go over them. Caffeine anhydrous, fucking works. And if you're using 350 milligrams, which is a lot compared to other pre-workouts, I'll say that it's a good amount. So that works. And then if you add in dicaffeine malate, caffeine anhydrous just kind of works like that. It just gives you the energy immediately. Dicaffeine malate is kind of different because it gives you the energy like slowly. Because of the malate, it kind of releases the energy slowly over time. and but that's just another form of caffeine. Talking about the cocoa alkaloid extract. So here it's also said that it's basically like theobroma and theobromine. Again, another form of just stimulant, and usually people dose it at about 50 to 100 milligrams. You don't need too much of this stuff. It really does work. So this is a good dose. Green tea extract, again, it's been found to be good for weight loss, but then they also mix it in with caffeine here. So there you go. There's even more caffeine, which is kind of unnecessary. But yeah, for the green tea extract, you don't really need a weight loss ingredient in a pre-workout. So I would say that's probably a no-no. And yeah, I don't think it really matters that much what the dose is on this one. For yerba mate extract, basically it doesn't work. They found that in conclusion, did not change muscle strength in physically active men. So that one probably does not work. Guarana is kind of hard to say. There's some studies saying that it improves like attention and cognition, and here it actually helped gaming performance. So it basically improved reaction time, reasoning, learning, execution, attention. So I mean, yeah, I suppose it works, but there's no real tests on performance like activity performance. And lastly, green coffee extract, just another way of adding coffee. And I suppose that was probably their like differentiation. They just added like more forms of caffeine into it. But there's really no point in adding like random caffeine stuff in there from different sources. But yeah, that's pretty much that. A pretty solid pre-workout, I would say. Could be a bit more evidence-based ingredients, but overall, a pretty solid pre-workout. Is kind of expensive, but it's still pretty solid. Probably not better than Wrecked, but yeah, it's pretty good actually. Probably somewhere here. For the time that it was created, it's a pretty good one. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So see you in the next one.